Welcome to another edition of Arizona Wildcats Insider. I'm your host, Troy Hutchison. Arizona is officially 16 days away from kicking off its 2025 college football season. The Wildcats will be taking on the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors in Tucson on TNT. It's the first time the two teams have met up since that game in Hawaii where Khalil Tate, if I could talk correctly, was stopped at the 1 yard line in the Kevin Sumlin era, opening that up in losing fashion. But I digress. Arizona is in the middle of training camp getting ready for the season. A lot of changes on the coaching staff with Seth Doege as offense coordinator, Danny Gonzalez as the defense coordinator, getting promoted from the linebacking coach, and Brett Brennan entering year 2 as the head coach of Arizona. The previous season, Arizona went 4-8 after having high expectations entering the year at number 21 in the AP poll, finishing 4-8. Again, a lot of things went wrong for Arizona. Ja'Cory Krotsky-Merritt ran out of eligibility. He couldn't play the rest of the season outside of the opener. Arizona suffered massive injuries along the way. Raymond Polito not playing there. That killed them at the left tackle position. You lose your top 2 left tackles, your star running back, and things were not good for Arizona. But Arizona now has 61 new faces on its roster in terms of the transfer portal and the 2025 recruiting class. Still, some familiar faces as well. Noah Fifita leading the charge as the quarterback of the offense. And then in the secondary, Traden Stukes, Dalton Johnson, and Genesis Smith. I was going to say Gunnar Maldonado, but Genesis Smith coming back and giving Arizona a strong and connected secondary, one of the better secondaries, if not the best secondary in the Big 12 entering the year. There's a lot of familiarity. There's some differences. I know one thing that Noah Fifita has talked about is the up-tempo of the offense. That's been something that not only Noah had to get adjusted to at first, but the offensive line as well. This Seth Doege offense is going to be very much up-tempo. Again, he comes from the air raid system, the Mike Leaches, the Sonny Dykes, those type of offensive systems of the world. But at Marshall, they're 20th in rushing. I think you're going to see a lot of up-tempo. I think you're going to see Arizona run the football, but they're going to have a little pass-happy element to it. I don't think it's going to be full air raid of, 50, 60, 70 passes in a game. I don't think that's going to be the case. And that's something that, when Brett Brennan was making the hiring, he was very much interested in it, and that's kind of what won him over is the fact that Seth Doege is an offensive air raid guy, but talked about needing to run the football to win games, to put games away, to tire and drain down teams and put defenses away in the fourth quarter. And that's football, because football's won up front. Yes, air raid offenses have had great offensive lines, but you really test and wear down your opponent. You see what they're made out of through the running game. That's how you wear a team down. That's how you win football games. And Seth Doege understands that, and he wants to be a team to finish off a game with the running game. So a lot of interesting takes there from Doege. Being an air raid guy, I think it's going to be an exciting offense to watch. But he has something that not a lot of new offense coordinators have. A guy in Fifita that has been there, done that, led the charge for the Wildcats before, had a down year last year of 18 touchdown passes, 12 picks, and only completing 61% of his passes compared to the season prior in 2023 where he only played in 10 games. But still, you look at it, he has a proven leader, a veteran quarterback that most teams in the country would want to have, a top 5 quarterback in the conference, if not top 3 quarterback in this conference, and a guy that has been going under the radar that is hungry. If I was an offense coordinator and you said, hey, come to Arizona, you're going to have this, or come to this program, we'll give you this in terms of the quarterback, sign me up. Because that is the toughest position to fill. You can bring in linemen. You can bring in skill position players. You can bring in running backs. But if you don't have that quarterback, it doesn't matter. You have to have that quarterback. And Brennan and Doege, they have that in Fifita. Let's talk about Noah's game. I want to talk about his strengths as a quarterback. We know some of the problems from last year. A lot of that stemmed from poor offensive line play and poor play calling from Dino Babers. It was a very poor system that didn't meet the skills and the strengths of Noah Fifita. So I want to go over some of those strengths. Number one, and you've seen it from the moment he stepped foot on campus, is football IQ. He's one of the smartest players I've ever seen. He's definitely the smartest freshman quarterback I've ever seen. I remember his first spring practice with Jed Fish and that coaching staff. Mind you, Arizona was 5-7 that year, and he was learning underneath Jin and Delora. You had weapons like Tetero McMillan, Jacob Cowan, and Dorian Sinner. It was a loaded offense. Just wasn't complete like it was in 2023. When he got chances to work with the second team and then eventually the first team, he made all the right reads. He understood the playbook. You can tell he knew it inside and out. He knew it just as well as the back of his hand. He was throwing the ball away. He wasn't putting the ball in duress. He wasn't putting the ball in harm's way. He was throwing away if something wasn't there. He was able to read the blitz and get out of the pocket, find the open man, find the check down, find the 10 to 15-yard pass, hit the lawn bomb. He was making all the right reads, and he was helping guys get in the right position from a freshman. Now, was he as vocal as he is now? No, he was a freshman. And that was something that he needed to work on from the previous season. But, man, his football IQ is off the charts. You're talking about a guy that has had to learn 3 different offensive systems now in 4 years. Jed Fish's system, and you can say, hey, well, Coach Carroll was the offense coordinator. No, he wasn't. No, Brendan Carroll is a very good coach. Brendan Carroll is one of the best offensive line coaches in the country. He is not an offense coordinator. Jed Fish was the offense coordinator. That was Jed Fish's playbook. That was Jed Fish's play calling, and Noah Fifita ran it to a T. The following year, Dino Babers, new playbook. And he struggled, but you know what? Overall, it wasn't bad for how poor the playbook was. And now this year, learning the Seth Doege offense, that's not easy. 3 different schemes, 3 different offenses in 4 years. That takes high football IQ, and Noah Fifita has that. Number 2, I want to talk about the awareness in the pocket. I kind of hinted to it last time, just now in the first go-around. But he has a unique and uncanny ability to field the blitz. Now, you're going to get hit hard sometimes with some poor offensive line play or misblocking assignment. It's going to happen. But he has a great Russell Wilson presence of him of feeling the blitz. And, you know, people are going to clown me for saying, oh, Denver Russ was great. He wasn't. I'm a Bronco fan. Denver Russ was horrible. But when you look at Russell Wilson in Seattle, you look at Russell Wilson with Wisconsin and NC State, one of the top things was not only his football IQ, it was the pocket awareness, being able to spin out of a blitz, step up in the pocket, knowing when to leave the pocket and when to escape. Noah Fifita has that. He has great pocket awareness. He has great pocket presence. Last year, he was kind of drifting on some throws, but when you're getting sacked 28 times with poor offensive line play and a lot of injuries, you're not going to have the same fundamentals down. This year in training camp, we've seen him step up into the pocket, step to the side and up. The pocket awareness is off the charts, and it's what makes him one of the best quarterbacks in the Big 12. Lastly, quick release. He has a very quick release of the football. And again, for his size, you should have a quick release. I believe he's around that 5'10", 6 foot mark. I might be selling him an inch short, so I do apologize about that. But he has an extremely quick release. He's able to get the ball out under duress. You saw it in his first game against Stanford when he took over his, first game in 2023. When he took over the offense when Jaden Delora got hurt, he had to roll out of the pocket and then made a weird pass to the tight end to get the ball out, pick up first down. Arizona wins the game. That quick release you can't teach. I mean, you can improve upon it, but it's what separates good quarterbacks from mediocre or below mediocre quarterbacks. We've seen 4-star quarterbacks come in to Arizona, Gunnar Cruzes of the world, the Braden Dormans of the world, where they have a cannon of an arm. They can chuck the ball downfield with the best of them and have great touch on the football. But you ask them to hit a 5-yard slant pass under duress, good luck. That's a pick or a sack or an incomplete pass. They don't have what it takes to get the ball there. They don't have that quick get out. And Noah Fifita has that quick release. And this offense kind of plays into that. You're going to see a lot of quick outs, getting the ball out in space, getting it out of his hands, get your playmakers in space to make plays. And that's what Noah Fifita is best at, is that 15 yards and in route. Now, does he have the long bomb in him? Yeah, he has the long bomb. You saw what he did with Earl McMillan. But his best attribute is that quick release and short passing game, West Coast offense style. So those are the three strengths of Noah Fifita. I think he is setting up for a massive year. I don't want to say a breakout year, because to me that was 2023, a welcome to college football year for Noah Fifita, but a reemergence, we'll call it, a reminder to the rest of the conference, to the rest of the country, because right now he has been very much disrespected in terms of what people think of him as a quarterback. I've seen lists where he's outside of the top 10 in the Big 12. He's the top 5, top 3 quarterback in the Big 12. And it wouldn't be any surprise in my mind if he won Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year and if he was first team all Big 12 as the best quarterback in this conference. It would not shock me, because that's what type of talent he has. I personally believe he has talent to make to the next level, but we'll see. I think we're setting up for a monster 2025 season for Noah Fifita as the quarterback of Arizona.